If you're suffering from anxiety and you want to learn how to manage it, how to deal with it in a healthy way, you want to reduce your stress levels, then there is a skill that can really help you with that. For me, that skill is essential and it helped me a lot when I was struggling with anxiety before. You need to learn how to empty your mind at will, how to slow down your thoughts, how to stop your thoughts. This is essential, and this video is about 3 things that you can try to help you accomplish that. This is a skill as well that I teach in my course, Anxiety No More. I hope this video is useful for you. Years ago, when I was struggling with anxiety, I noticed that my mind, my thoughts, were many times only making anxiety worse. So if I was afraid of a certain situation or afraid of talking to a certain person, my thoughts will create a story in my head that would make everything even worse. So I will know that I'll get into a situation that would cause me stress. I was starting to feel it in my body, and then in my mind I would create dark scenarios, completely fictional stories that would fuel the fire of anxiety. It will make everything even worse. So I had this goal for more than a year of learning how to stop my thoughts. First, this was a completely new concept. I didn't know that was possible because in my anxious mind there were always thoughts. I had never experienced an empty mind, and they were always there. So here I'm going to give you 3 tips, 3 ways, 3 practices that you can try on a daily basis and see the effects they have, because these had been the 3 things that I found that were more effective to accomplish that. And I can tell you, once you're able to control your mind in this way, once you're able to empty your mind at will, a lot of the overwhelming emotions that you might feel right now when you're triggered will disappear. I must say that not all will disappear, but a lot of them will. And the ones that are still left, they are much easier to manage. So how can you accomplish that? I noticed that I was trying to do it with meditation, and meditation is for many people really useful to accomplish it, just to be able to empty your mind. But I noticed that certain types of meditation were not effective at all in the beginning for me. So I had to experiment a lot. I had to look for different kinds of meditation until I find some that worked, that were quite easy to get into. And this is the way we get to practice number 1. This is a type of meditation, okay? And is it to look at the seconds hand in a clock. So you get a clock, so it cannot be a digital one. It needs to have the hands, and it especially needs to have the seconds hand. So it will move like this. It cannot be one of those that the second hand keeps moving very slowly without stopping. Ideally, you want the seconds hand on the clock to move every second. You're going to sit down with your eyes open, looking at the seconds hand, and you're going to follow it. And why this? So I noticed that in the beginning, if your mind is really busy with thoughts, it's really difficult to focus in one steady thing. So if you sit down, you close your eyes, you focus, let's say, on your breath, it's really difficult to do that without the mind keeping throwing you thoughts constantly. If you focus on something external the same way, like if you focus on sounds, you keep feeling thoughts. What I notice is if it's something that it's moving, like the seconds hands in the clock, is much easier to stop the thoughts. So it must be something, you can focus in one thing, yes, but it needs to be something that is moving. What happens here is that every time it stops, it gives you a little time, a second, to focus on that hand. And next time it moves, the movement allows your thoughts to be interrupted, because you are searching just for like a split second. You're trying to search again for the second hand, and then when the thoughts are going to interrupt you again, the hand will move again, And this allows you to reduce the mental garbage that you might feel, the thoughts that are in your head, the stories, allows you to control them in a much effective way rather than other types of meditation. So this is example number 1. Get a clock, put it in front of you, sit down and just follow the seconds and very attentively. See how it goes for you. Now practice number 2. I made a video already about this, and this is what I think that is probably the second most effective way to stop your thoughts. And this is with coloring books. Coloring books for adults started showing up in shops, and although I have seen them for a long time, I gave them a try a few months back. And what I noticed is that the fact that we're really focused on this task on coloring and really in small details, this makes us have to focus really hard. And the fact that we need to keep coloring within the lines allows our brain to have the full awareness, full attention on that task. And as a consequence, your thoughts vanish. Your mind is empty because you're so focused on that task. So this is pretty straightforward. To give it a try, you have plenty of options. You find a book with a theme that you like, and you just grab some either crayons or even a pen, whatever you'd like to use, and you start coloring. This is extremely effective, extremely easy to get into, and if the first option doesn't work that well for you, try this second one. With that, we get to the third practice. The third practice is again a different kind of meditation. I had to experiment myself to develop it. So I find it very efficient, although I would give a try to the first 2 things I mentioned before. Once you try them, then give this one a try. And what is it? Many times when we suffer from anxiety, what we feel inside of us, our emotions are very overwhelming. And trying to sit and focus on what is happening inside can be even more overwhelming, because if you feel something unpleasant, we feel it even more intensely. As a result, many times our brain gets even more busy to try to distract us from the overwhelming sensations we are feeling inside our body. So I developed this kind of meditation that really worked well with me, and it also realized, just like the first one, that something keeps moving, your attention keeps moving. This type of meditation also relies on moving your attention between 2 things back and forward. And this will be something inside of you and something outside of you. That's what I learned, and that's what is most effective. So how does that go? You basically sit down, you close your eyes, and you focus on 2 things, and you keep switch between them. One thing is your breath. So you close your eyes, you focus on your breathing, and maybe in the beginning, not inside of your body even, just here in your nose, your breath coming in and outside of your nose. And then we can move it inside, feeling your body moving as you breathe. This is the first thing, your breath. Very important when it comes to anxiety. Second thing, sounds, something external. I noticed that this works really well with sounds. So still with your eyes closed, then you notice the sounds around you. And they can be far away or close to you, it doesn't matter. But the trick here is that you need to keep switching between them. So you close your eyes, you focus on your breath, and then sounds. And just like in the first case, that there is a second that you focus on attention on something still, here you do the same thing. So you need to give it enough time for you to pay attention to the sounds. So you, with your eyes closed, you notice the sounds. Just a little bit. In this case can be 2-3 seconds. And then you get back to your breath. You breathe in, you breathe out, you go to the sounds again. And the good thing about this is that in this one, you can really adjust to your needs. If you feel 3 seconds is too much of a big break, you need a smaller break, then you switch faster between the breath and between the sounds. If you need more time, you notice this is not enough for me. I need more time to really pay attention to what's going outside of me, or really feeling the breath. Then you give it more time. Here, you can use this as well to adjust to your thoughts. If you feel that your meditation, your practice is being interrupted by thoughts, every time a thought is coming, you switch your attention on that point. You're focusing on your breath, a thought is coming, you switch to the sound. And every time you switch, you'll be interrupting the thoughts. And this allows you with practice to be able to have your mind empty. And with that, the mental fluctuation reduces, and the emotion turbulence inside of you also reduces and can even vanish completely. So this is the third practice. Now, very important, all of this you need to practice on a consistent basis. It's not enough to do it one day for 5 minutes, not 2 days. You need to put time into it. So I would say for you to reserve at least 20 minutes a day and spend the time doing this. Notice how you feel, how is your mind before you start and after you start. This is essential to keep a stamp in your brain to register the effects of the practice. So before you do this, you notice your mental fluctuation, your thoughts coming and going, the stories. You start doing it, you do it for a time that you decide beforehand, let's say the 20 minutes. You do one of these practices, and then you notice how are your thoughts in your mind after that. And I can tell you that even if you do this for a week consistently, you'll start noticing differences in your mind, then in your emotions, and then in your anxiety, of course. So if you're interested in this kind of meditation that I described at the end, just drop me a comment down below or send me a direct message, and maybe I can make a recording for you. Yeah, if there's enough people interested, I'll record this meditation, because I did never find a recording of such a kind of meditation. So I can make a recording, and then if you're interested, I can send it to you for free. Just in case you're interested, if you want to really give it a try, you tried it on your own, didn't quite work, or you're not clear about something. So these are the 3 practices. All of this I teach in my course, Anxiety No More. If you're struggling with anxiety, this course might be really great for you. So if you want to learn more, just again, contact me. I give you all the details, and I tell you how it can help you manage anxiety, reduce your stress levels, and also have a path, sort of a set of instructions of what to do to find your own way to overcome anxiety, to deal with it, and hopefully live a life anxiety-free. That's all for today. I'm Sergio Santos, and hope to see you soon.